Today is November 1st, 2022. It is 2 p.m. This is our regular weekly business meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order, and in attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Duncan, and Filios. And now join us for a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you, everyone. And now we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. Nick, would you lead us, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. So changes to the agenda. We have 4 items pulled, and item 38 will be moved to handle right after 18. So the items are 14, 15, 17, and 20. Any problems with that? Okay, hearing none. Then I would take a motion to approve meeting minutes.
Okay, so I will move therefore that we approve the minutes of the meeting of 10/13/2022. 10/19, forgive me.
Items 1 and 2.
So we're
I second the motion.
let me just amend the motion, Bill. We're actually approving items 1 and 2, so it's the minutes of
Very good,
10/13
very good.
and 10/19, yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Filios?
Yes, I second the motion.
Sorry, jumped the gun. Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. Motion passes. Consent calendar, which is items 3 through 8.
I move that we approve the consent calendar, which is comprised of items 3 through 8.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. Motion passes. Payables list.
So I move that we approve the payables list for the time period of October 24 through 28.
The amount?
I second the motion.
Let me just add the amount,
Yeah, please.
$514,386.72, along with jury panel payments, $1,381.34.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. All right, our first business item, which is number 10, approval of Edison Healthcare Employer Agreement with Edison Healthcare and Sylvia.
Sylvia Proud for the record. I am seeking the board's approval for Edison Healthcare's employer agreement. And what Edison Healthcare provides is a Center for Excellence, access to Center for Excellence facilities for second opinions and certain type of medical situations. So this is a voluntary benefit. Employees are not required to participate in Edison, but one of the big benefits, if you do, is if you have to have like a major spine or neck surgery, or you have a diagnosis of cancer, they'll help you find a physician in their Smart Care network, and you go to the second physician for a second opinion, and all your expenses are covered. No co-pays, no out-of-pocket expenses. If you have to travel to another state to receive that care, they coordinate everything for you at no expense to the individual or their companion. So we have budgeted this for fiscal year 23. The amount is $63,000 annually, and it would go into effect January 1st, 2023, and it has been reviewed by legal.
Thank you. Questions, Bill? Questions, Chris?
No,
I have no questions.
Okay,
Okay, I will move therefore that we approve the contract with Edison Healthcare employer agreement to go into effect 1/1 of '23 with an initial amount charged to the county of $63,000. End of
I
motion.
second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
aye, motion passes. Item 11, this is the Edison Healthcare Business Associate Agreement approval with Edison Healthcare. Sylvia again?
Yes, with all the agreements we're doing with Edison, we need to sign off on, and they also need to sign off on the business associate agreement. And what that spells out is obligations and activities that Edison will meet to make sure they protect our health information. And so the parameters of all those arrangements are within that agreement. And again, this would be effective January 1st.
Okay,
No questions.
if there's no questions, a motion?
I move that we approve the business associate agreement with Edison Healthcare.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. Item 12, Edison Healthcare Implementation Approval. Sylvia?
All right, so this is the last component of the Edison agreements, all which have been reviewed by legal. What the implementation packet includes is outlines the details of contact people, how we're going to interact together, with the regents and ourselves and with the Alliant. So it also includes some HIPAA safeguards as well. So this is the third component of our agreement with Edison.
Okay, if there are no questions, motion?
I move that we approve the Edison Healthcare implementation approval, which specifically details the logistics of how we handle the actual appointments and the various players involved.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. All right, item 13. This is the Challenge Cost Share Agreement with Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation and the Forest Service for our Snow Groomers Department. Nick Snyder, Director.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Before you is in fact the cost share agreement for 2022 through 2027, which will allow us to provide groomed snowmobile trails in the Coeur d'Alene National Forest. Our existing agreement is since expired, and we'll need this inked so we can begin activities on December 15th.
Okay. So no changes from the last agreement?
Yes, Commissioner, there are changes which benefit the county. We've deleted any responsibility or obligation for the plowing of Fernand Hill and other parking lots and et cetera. So that language was tightened up. It also removes some previous language which essentially gave some authority to the Coeur d'Alene Snowmobile Club and the advisory board to make decisions on behalf of the county, or certainly give input on behalf of the county. So we've removed that language, and it's been much cleaned up.
Any questions for Nick?
No.
Okay, motion?
I move that we approve the Challenge Cost Share Agreement between our Parks and Rec and the Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation and the USDA Forest Service.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. All right, items 14 and 15 will be brought back at a later date. And now item 16, board approval request, Mountain West Bank account agreement. And is Lieutenant Klinkefus on the line?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're requesting permission to change the civil trust accounts over to Mountain West Bank versus U.S. Bank. The main reason for that is the fees are a lot less with Mountain West Bank. They don't charge us for deposits, and then having the account itself. Secondly, there's local representation that we can talk to when we have issues, which we didn't have with U.S. Bank. The main reason to bring it before you was Counsel had looked over the agreement and possibly had wanted to explain an indemnification clause issue to. I don't know if Darren Murphy is present today down there.
He's not.
Okay. Well, he had said in his email on the legal review that there would be an indemnification clause issue possibly, but it says he would inform the board of the remote risk and assumes that they would accept the agreement as is. So I thought he would have been present today to speak to that.
I'm just reading his paragraph. So I think if we just add the phrase "to the extent allowed by law," we'll be fine. Do you think that's going to cause a problem with Mountain West?
I don't believe so, but I do know that he did note that he says in there, however, the risk is very remote, and then says that I don't know. I guess it would be up to you, ma'am. We can resubmit it and ask them to add that to the agreement. But generally, the agreement they sent us, if I remember correctly, was basically a boilerplate, bank agreement that they make with everybody that they, have these types of accounts with.
Okay. And we do have another civil deputy prosecutor in the audience civil. So so I'm thinking that, Dave, how do you want to?
I haven't read this particular clause. I wasn't asked to. I read what Darren wrote in the email here that you're referring to.
Right.
If there were to be some sort of legal dispute over the agreement and that there's anything in the agreement that violates Idaho law, I think it would be severed from the agreement anyway.
Okay.
So I'm just not that concerned about it. Again, maybe a small risk, as Darren stated, but this is a boilerplate form. The bank's probably not really willing to change it anyway.
Sure.
Quite frankly, on a small account like this.
Okay, I'm fine with going ahead with it today. Chris, Bill, any concerns?
What's the nature of the account again? What's it for?
It's the civil trust account.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I've called on it. I have no problem with it.
Okay. Motion?
I move that we approve the move of the civil trust account for the sheriff's organization from U.S. Bank to Mountain West.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. And just to clarify that we'll be executing the account agreement on this. So, okay, that passes. We have pulled item 17 to come back a different day. And now we have item 18 and item 38. And Pat, can we combine them into one or just handle them separately?
I'll go ahead and I'll handle them one after the other.
Okay.
It's kind of almost a cart before the horse, except that we're doing this at basically the same time. Anyway, the first item 18, is the first intergovernmental agreement with the county, and in this case, the Kootenai County EMS system for the collection and payment and accounting for impact fees per the ordinance that was approved by the commissioners back on the 13th of October. And the system has already approved it and signed it. So I'm just asking for your signature on that. The second item, item 38 on the agenda, is actually the resolution. Again, this was approved back on the 13th, but this is the actual written resolution that implements the impact fee ordinance and authorizes the Board of County Commissioners to collect impact fees on behalf of the various fire districts and Kootenai County EMS. So I would ask that you approve both of those at this time.
Okay.
Next week, I will bring back an item regarding the fire district impact fee agreements. They've gone out, I sent them out to Ann Westcott, and she's gonna send them out to the fire district, so that approval would just allow the chair to sign those as they come in from the fire districts.
So Pat, separate agreements?
Yes, separate agreements.
Separate motions, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you would, just to keep the record clear.
Okay.
All right, Bill, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, motion.
Okay, so I move that with regard to item 18 on our agenda, that we approve the intergovernmental agreement between Kootenai County and Kootenai County Emergency Medical System regarding impact fee collection and expenditures by Kootenai County.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. Now for the resolution.
Okay, so moving on to item 38, which is Resolution 2022-80, which relates to the item just previously mentioned, which is approval of the amendments to the comprehensive plan and adoption of the fire district or participating fire districts and KCEMS capital improvement plans.
I'll second.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, and that was for item 38. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Pat. Yes.
Go ahead.
All right, item 19, Proval Mapping Pictometry Addendum, Manatron, Inc., and it's Aumentum Technologies for our Assessor's Office and our Chief Deputy Assessor, Benjamin Crottinger, please.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Ben Crottinger for the record. The Assessor's Office respectfully requests that the Board of County Commissioners approve the letter of authorization for Manatron Incorporated, or Aumentum Technologies, to install the ProVal geoanalytics and pictometry software. This is an addendum to the existing master agreement, number ID 2004.003, between Kootenai County and Manatron, Inc. The installation, setup, and training services are being provided at no charge, with the only cost to Kootenai County being the annual support fees in the amount of $2,784, which will come out of the IT department's budget. IT has this amount in their budget, and they have reviewed this expenditure. Legal counsel also reviewed the LOA and saw no legal issues.
Okay. Any questions? Bill, Chris?
None.
No.
All right, motion.
I move that we approve the Proval Mapping Pictometry Addendum with Manatron, Inc. and Aumentum Technologies.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. All right, item 20 has been pulled to be put on a different meeting. And now we go to items 21, 22, and I believe 23 are all related. Kim, are you on the line?
I am Commissioners Kim Stevenson with the airport for the record, and you are correct. We can combine the termination of the ground lease AAL 99-40, termination of ground lease AAL-2004-040, and ground lease AAL 2022-2400 for hangar purchase.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and explain about 21 and 22.
Okay, so what happened, I believe I included in your packet minutes of meeting from September 14th, 2004, when there was a sale of the hangar originally from Mr. Boudreau to Ms. Akins. And the order simply rescinded the lease, and that lease was recorded. It was never terminated at the time. And so now that Ms. Akins has sold the hangar to another party, we need to do the lease termination for the Boudreaux so that we can get that recorded and clean that up with the recorder's office, and then process the termination for the sale of Lori Akins' hangar. and then the purchase by the Williamsons of that hangar.
Second motion.
Yes, so, but just include the 2 terminations and then the 1 new ground lease.
Got it.
Okay, Bill, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, motion.
Okay. I move that with regard to items 21, 22, and 23 respectively, that we approve the termination of ground lease AAL 99-40 and ground lease AAL-2004-040, also a lease termination, resulting in the ground lease purchase of AAL-2022-2400, which is a hangar purchased by Party Williamson. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye, motion passes. All right, now I believe that 24 and 25 are related, Kim. So we've got a termination of ground lease, AAL 2020-800, and it's Krosner, and then the hangar purchase, AAL 2022-2500, Loose Cannon LLC.
That is correct. Thank you for combining those. Yes, this is a regular sale of a hangar from Mr. Krosner and the purchaser, Loose Cannon LLC, 6,375 square feet for an annual rent of $1,447.12.
All right, any questions?
None for me.
Motion?
No.
I move that we approve the termination of ground lease AAL-2020-800, which is a hangar sale by the Party of Krosner, and the ground lease to be established AAL-2022-2500, which is a hangar purchase, and the party is Loose Cannon LLC. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes. Kim, we now have 4, I think, that are somewhat related, but there's not 4 to go with it. There's only 3. So how would you like to handle the next 4 items?
I was thinking that we would take the 4 terminations together, and then we could do the 3 ground leases together. The reason for that is that there is one parcel there that the new owners decided they wanted to split this rather large square footage into 2 separate pieces. I believe they're roughly 55,000 square feet per section, and that one was just recently decided on, and therefore I did not have it ready to go with the rest of the documents here. But that we'll bring that forward shortly.
Okay. So we can handle then 26 through 29, termination of ground leases, AAL 98-005, 98-010, 2009-010, and 2015-700. And all these are regarding resort aviation. So go ahead, Kim. You just kind of explained it, so I'm not sure if Chris or Bill have any other questions.
I'm fine.
No question.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can consider that a motion, can't we? What you just indicated?
Sort of sounded like a motion.
Okay, fine.
So I'll second.
Okay, who would have made the motion?
I made the motion.
Okay,
Leslie.
just gotta make sure I got that. Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes. So for items 30, 31, 32, these are all purchases, and it's by the same Triple Flight LLC, and the ground lease ALL. Oh, is that a typo on number 30?
That is a typo strictly on the agenda. I
Sure.
apologize.
That's okay.
Yes,
So,
should be AAL.
yeah, AAL 2022-300-500-600, and go ahead and, I guess, if there's anything else to mention there.
And I'll second that.
I guess the only thing that I wanted to mention, I'm sorry if I could just real quickly, that we do have a fairly significant increase in rent. The resort leases, as you can tell, were all fairly old, and so these new leases have been brought up to the appropriate market value for commercial aeronautical leases.
Okay.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. All right. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 33 is addendums to public defender contracts for Anderson, Bose, Cheeseboro, Cocker, Haggerty, Finley, Frampton, Marks, Nixon, Palmer, Pierce, Riyadh. I don't know why that trips me up every time. Riffle, Schwartz, and Swartz. Terry?
Yes, these are addendums to the conflict contract agreements that were approved by the board on October 11th, and the addendums just finalize your approval of the pay rate increase for the conflict attorneys in all categories to $150 an hour and $50 an hour for the paralegals, and the new rates are scheduled to go into effect today, November 1st.
Great. Any questions for Terry?
No.
Okay, motion, please.
I move that we approve the addendum to the public defender for conflict contracts, including the parties of Anderson, Bose, Cheeseboro, Crocker, Haggerty, Finley, Frampton, Marks, Nixon, Palmer, Pierce, Riyadh, Riffle, Schwartz, and Swartz for the attorneys at the rate of $250 per hour.
$150 per hour.
Oh, $150.
Yes.
So I stand corrected, at the rate of $150 per hour and $50 per hour for the paralegals. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Terry. All right, item 34, board approval request. There's been an amendment to the L1, and I see Julina here to help us out with this item.
Julina Hildreth with the Auditor's Office for the record. I come before you today to just ask that you approve the amended L1, which is the certificate of county levies. There were two districts that had changes in value in Benewah County. Apparently there was a programming error there where they had counted, double counted property, personal property exemptions. So the values actually went down, which in turn affected the levy rates. So that's why we are here.
Okay. Bill, Chris, questions?
No, I'm fine.
No.
Motion?
I move that we approve the request for the amendment to the L1 by our auditor.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. All right, and now we have item 35, master agreement, software and support license for Computer Arts, Inc., Harris, and our county assistants, and our chief deputy clerk, Jennifer Locke.
Yes, before you is the master agreement, as you stated, for the software and support license for Computer Arts, and Harris is the program that we use in county assistance for our medical and police holds, and it's for fiscal year 23. And the cost for this year, it's coming out of IT's budget, is $4,115.88. And last year, it's actually a reduction because last year was $4,995. So we got a reduction on that price.
Great. Any questions?
Nope.
No questions.
Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the master agreement for software and support licenses with Computer Arts, Inc. and Harris for our county assistance organization at a reduced rate for fiscal year 23. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, motion passes. Now I think we can handle items 36 and 37 together. And once again, our Chief Deputy, this is for Resolution 2022-78, which is classification of county assistance records, and 2022-79, which is destruction of those same records for county assistance.
Yes, as you stated, we're going to combine those two resolutions for classification and destroy of records, and it goes from 2005 to 2014.
Okay, any questions?
None?
No.
I move therefore that we approve resolutions 2022-78 and 79 to classify and destroy records respectively for our county assistants for the period 2005 through 2014. End of motion.
I second the motion.
Commissioner Filios,
Aye.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And now we are to our pending, our status update pending list. And our,
Did we miss 38?
no, we handled 38 with 18.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Yes.
okay. That's all right. So our one and only item is facilities expansion, and legal and RMO are working hard to get the contracts to a point where they can be brought before the board. And once they get that done, then we'll be able to negotiate and move forward in the project. So any questions, Bill, Chris?
What's cost looking like?
No.
They don't have, well, that's a complicated question. The very base estimate, they can give us that, but it's really high. So the reason why we did construction manager, general contractor is to get that cost down. So when they have a better idea of what the actual cost is, then we'll bring it before us and talk about it then. So we're almost there. We're almost there to start talking about that piece again. I just want to get the contract a little bit further along, and then that way we can handle the price next.
Okay.
So, all right, nothing further. I will call for public comment. And seeing none, it is 2:32. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.